I'm really excited to have a new assessment live on the High Potential website testing remote work and skills in remote work. So this is a pretty comprehensive test actually that looks at skills that are necessary in remote work and remote working environments. It looks at all of the different factors and the facets within those of what contributes to success in remote work, what makes a good remote working environment, what kind of abilities, capabilities, what you need to know, what you need to learn, and what's going to make you more effective in remote work. So it has quite a range because remote work covers a lot of different things and a lot of different things that are going to make you successful. So there's 6 major factors. I'm going to go through these skills really quickly in this video because I'm going to make a video on each of the specific skills, both what they are, what you can do to develop them, and why they're important to remote work separately. The first one is communication. And communication is talking about our proactivity, our responsiveness, how good we are at communicating with colleagues in a remote working environment, about building those connections, maintaining those connections, making sure we're communicating, speaking with people in a way that's useful, that's helpful, that means we're building our skills together and that we understand what other people want and need to get the job done. Communication is important in all work, but it is particularly important in remote work, and it's done in slightly different ways in remote work. So if we want to work effectively in remote working environments, we need to understand how communication works and how to manage it in remote working environments. The second one is collaboration, and that's describing how we relate to other people in a remote working environment. It's not just communication, it's how we relate to other people, adapting to other people's needs, and adapting to some of the kind of complexity and challenge and problems that always arises from working with other people, but understanding how we manage groups and ourselves within that group and making sure that that's productive, effective, and healthy in a remote working environment. Now the third one, time management, obviously important in every workplace, but time management is different in remote working environments, especially when you're working more independently. You don't have other people around you affecting how you use your time and resources. So independently, remotely, flexibly using your time management, understanding that, really important to success, and developing that is a kind of an ongoing challenge, especially as remote working environments change. They're not all the same. Self-motivation in a remote working environment. So how do you motivate yourself when you could be at home, or you could be working on the beach, you could be in a coffee shop? How do you manage yourself when there's everything else going on? How do you motivate yourself to focus on the right tasks, to prioritize different things, to understand what needs to be done, and make sure that that gets done in a timely way that matches the timescales of your employers, your colleagues, your manager, whoever it is. Understanding how to manage that time, working more remotely, flexibly, independently, essential again. Technical skills are a key set of skills that allow you, help you, enable you to work really effectively in remote or flexible or different environments. It's the technology and tools that you can use to communicate with people anywhere, to manage your time, to manage your motivations. It's the set of technical capabilities that help you manage your remote working life. And so sometimes that's understanding software, it's a bit of technical knowledge, but it's also technical problem solving. It's understanding how the tools work and being able to manage and troubleshoot and to kind of fix problems on your own. The more you have those technological capabilities, the easier it's going to make your remote work. You can work remotely without technical skills, but they're a huge asset in making you more productive when things go wrong, in troubleshooting when the software doesn't work, in figuring out what goes wrong, because I mean the truth of any technology is stuff doesn't always work, and it doesn't always work as you expect it to. So the skills and the abilities to manage that as it comes up, especially while juggling everything else you have, is a really important skill that can really help you when you're working remotely. And finally, working environment. This is something that absolutely can be developed and you can change. You don't always have complete control over it. If you're working from home, you don't have complete control over everyone else in the house necessarily, nor would you want it. You can't necessarily choose your environment all the time if you're trying to get work done at an airport, if you're trying to manage traveling and remote working and doing things in different environments with different kind of challenges and competing interests. You don't necessarily have 100% control over your environment. But if you have a dedicated remote working space, and you're devoting most of your time to working remotely in that space, there's a lot of things you can do to make yourself more productive. And we can talk about working environment in a traditional office, what makes people productive, what physical factors, what comfort factors, what kind of setup makes people productive. But the same is true of remote working. So if you have a good dedicated setup that's comfortable, that is ergonomically sound, that is improving your health and your psychological as well as your physical well-being while you're in the workplace, that is going to make a big difference on your overall productivity, and it's going to connect to all of those other factors. So with those major 6 factors, we can look at the general areas that contribute to success in remote work, but then there's 3 factors in each of those. So it leads to 18 different facets that we can look at in remote work. You can assess yourself against these 18 factors and see, okay, where are my strengths in remote working? What can I develop on? And what can I improve? The test is live. It's available at highpotentialpsych.co.uk. You can take it for free. You can take it as many times as you want. You can share your results. You can invite other people to take the test as well. There's some recommendations, there's suggestions, there's ideas for improving your remote working skills, there's suggestions for using the test effectively. And the useful thing about this test is everything that's being reported on, all of the feedback you're getting is stuff that you can work on and improve. So you can say, okay, here's something I'm really strong at, this I'm really good at, this is something I can use to improve on. And sometimes you'll already know, so it's telling you information that you've got a pretty good sense of. You know what you can fix in your remote working environment, you know what skills that you may be lacking that you can develop, but it'll also really highlight those so you can see it in a kind of structured, clear format that says, okay, here's what you can do to boost your remote working capability. Here's what your colleagues might need to do if you want to share this test, if you want to compare results, say, where are your strengths? What do you need to work on? Where are your weaknesses? What can you do to boost your productivity, your effectiveness, and hopefully your well-being and happiness in your remote working environment?